Bubba on 96 K-Rock.
Get off the ledge! Get off the ledge! This country sure as hell been going down the drain.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Why should you want to know? Don't you mind about the future?
And now, live, unedited, unrehearsed, and unapologetic, brought to you by Imperial Fire Alarm and Security, securing your world. Straight off the ledge, it's JD and Smitty!
Welcome to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96K Rock. You can call us at 277 or 775-9600. We are streaming live on the theledgeradioshow.com, and you can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. Just want to apologize for dumb Chris screwing up the intro this morning. He had us on at 7:30. I think that the time must have rolled forward or something, so we got a little bit of extra time. And if you missed it, Smitty and I, we had a good heated conversation a few minutes ago before Miss Linda Doggett came in, and Smitty,
we had to man up and be gentlemen.
Go ahead and thank our sponsors again, Smitty, and then we'll get to Miss Linda.
Sure. I just want to thank our sponsors. It's Square D Construction. If you're doing any kind of construction or a renovation for your house, give those guys a call. They're really good. They're square. And Summer Jade Boat Detailing, Matt Miller for Lee County Commissioner, and of course our title sponsor, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security, securing your world.
All right, and the Ledge Radio Show is proud to welcome Miss Linda Doggett to the studio. Linda's running against Brian Bigelow.
We got to give her the official
for the position of Lee County Clerk of Court.
Good luck.
Thanks, Linda. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Oh, I have to correct you though. Brian Bigelow is running against me.
Oh,
there you go. Very nice. I like that.
She's learning.
Well,
quick.
Actually, I've got a question about that. Right away. He's a commissioner, right?
He is a commissioner.
Why? Is that would that be like a lateral move to go to the clerk of court, or is that a move up for him? I mean, why would he switch gears and go to clerk of court?
Well, I guess you'll have to ask him that question. The clerk of the court is a whole different type of government. We don't make decisions. We're not a decision-making part of government. We're very technical. We're very,
Well, what do you do?
What does the clerk do?
Yeah, what did he do? I've always heard clerk of courts.
Well, that's a great question. I'll tell you a little bit about what the clerk's office does. Can I tell you a little bit about myself first?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay. Let me just introduce myself a little bit. I'm a native of Florida.
Oh, me too.
I grew up in LaBelle actually, and I've been living in Lee County for the last 32 years. I have a wonderful husband, 2 daughters, very sweet girls, 8 and 10. We're very proud of them. We go to St. Vincent de Paul Catholic Church. We're members there. My youngest is having her first communion next week, and
awesome.
Really excited about that.
My boys are 8 and 10. Yeah, I had my youngest just turned 8, and the oldest he'll be 11 coming up in I think July or something like that.
Cool, that's great. So I've been with the clerk's office for the past 28 years.
Wow. Of
my professional life, and during that time we've implemented so many office-wide efficiencies. And really, that's come as a result of my leadership, my experience, obviously, with the time, and my education. I have a degree in computer science and a degree in management and information systems.
Okay.
All relating to management and computers technology, what you really need to do, what you need to have for a position like the clerk's office, because the clerk processes information. That's what we do. You asked what we do. We are basically we process information and dollars in and out of the county, the flow of that in and out of the county. I've been with the clerk's office for 28 years. During that time, I've served the citizens as a technology director for 10 plus years, a court department director for 10 plus years, and now I'm the chief operating officer of the clerk's office.
Now the clerk, the clerk of court isn't out there like the current clerk is it Charlie Green, and he's been there a long time, right?
28 years.
As the clerk of court?
Yes.
And it's not something that most voters really think about as to what can a new clerk bring, what can a different clerk bring. I mean, have you seen the systems that the clerk get more advanced over the years to where they are actually more efficient?
Absolutely. When I came to
they
the clerk's
got computers
office,
now.
I understand.
Yes,
the Commodore
absolutely,
64.
absolutely.
Not a ledger.
I got Apple II.
Pencils and, you know.
Charlie and I have worked together for the last 28 years, and we have automated the clerk's office. Businesses used to come to our clerk's office to record, where we record. We're the keeper of public records. So you come to us to record all your important documents and public records. Businesses used to send their documents to us. Took them 2 weeks to get that document.
They'd have to mail it in, or
yeah, and meanwhile their business is on hold,
waiting
for that information to get recorded so they can move forward.
Okay.
Today, you walk into our office, we hand that document right back to you.
That's pretty nice.
Or even better yet, you can e-record.
And then you'll get it in 12 days.
Don't even have to.
We're moving, boy. They are moving. Don't get in their way.
I don't. Now, I also noticed on the website that the clerk of court, obviously, they also handle all the jury stuff, jury selection.
Absolutely.
And with that being said, if you get in and we help you through this radio show, can you get me out of jury duty? Because I hate that stuff.
Just wear an anti-everything shirt.
I will, man.
Because you are anti-everything.
Every time I go in, I tell them something. They're like, where would you stand on a case like this? I'm like, hang him. They're like, all right, we don't need this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there should be. I want professional jurors that are just there to just put your butt in jail. Okay, get it over with. You're probably guilty. You've been arrested.
He's like China, man.
It's your civic duty, man. You have to go.
You
have to go.
I know it is, but that's one thing I'd like to see change, man. I go, but I do everything I can to get out of that stuff, and I get flack from it too. People are like, man, that's your civic duty. That's what this country was founded on. I'm like, man. If I stay there, if they elect me to be on the jury, I get like $15 a day. I own a business. My business is going to fold if I'm not there.
Maybe we can get her to pay the jurors more, instead of $15 a day.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I mean, you got business owners come here that are used to making a decent wage, and they got to go in there.
Right. They should prorate it. If you're used to making so much a day, that's what you should get paid.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
If you're
I'll be a professional juror then.
We agree.
I think that's
good
great.
Lord Almighty, Mary, St. James, John, Matthew, Luke, Paul.
All that.
I'm
and a bag of chips.
I can't believe it. We agreed.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I look at that exemption card. They send you the card and they go, if you qualify for any of these exemptions, you might be able to get a jury duty. And I'm like, damn it, I don't qualify for none of these. It should be like if you're like a small business owner and it's required that you're at work in order for your business to survive. You don't have to go. Can we add that one to the little card? Because small business, I got like 3 employees. If I'm not there, they're running around with their heads cut off. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm going to add to my qualifications is the fact that I brought you two together to agree on one topic.
All right, very good. Good enough.
I disagree.
Hey, I've got some advice for you though, and it's
take warning now. I'm telling you now.
Listen,
he's got advice for you.
And Smitty can attest to this.
Let's see.
All right, so I went to Publix yesterday. Okay, I had to get some snacks.
That's true. He did.
Never buy the pork rinds from the ethnic food aisle.
Mm-hmm.
I made a mistake. I'm just cruising along the aisle, and I see pork rinds, and I'm from the South. I'm like, man, I like pork rinds. I'm gonna give me some of those for a snack. Don't get them from the ethnic food aisle. They're not the same. This morning, that stomach is like
pork rinds. Just the name pork rinds.
And they weren't even just regular pork rinds. They were the ones that had like the pork fat still attached to them.
I don't think it was the pork rinds that were so bad. I think it was the consumption of all the pork rinds is what hurt.
Was I not supposed to eat the whole bag?
Yeah, you ate the whole bag, man. You came in with that.
Well, they got me back this morning.
Chase it with a Dr. Pepper, and
it was a couple beers and a Coke or something.
See, that's what hurt you.
You just can't eat just one.
No.
Rinds. Come on.
You keep
isn't that a tagline? You just can't eat just one. Who was that?
That's like Lay's chips or something.
Yeah, wasn't that Lay's?
Well, the thing is, you keep searching that bag for one that's got a little bit more pork fat, that's got the flavor in it. So you keep digging deeper, and before you know, you had to eat all the other ones out of the way to get to the good ones.
You got to remember, you're with the overachiever over here. He's going to hook you up.
I see that.
Look for the more fat on the pork rind.
To our policy in the clerk's office.
Put it just hang it up like by the copy machine. No pork rinds from the ethnic food aisle. I mean, not that they would be different from the regular aisle, but I think they were different.
Get a picture of a pork rind with a big circle with an X on it. That'll be you.
I should wear that T-shirt.
Pork rind.
I still like them, but it'll take me a couple weeks before I get another one.
So let her talk about it.
Okay, so I just want to educate you guys a little bit more on the clerk's office, okay?
We need it.
I think you need it, all right? So more than 50% of what we do is in our support of the courts.
Okay.
So not just bringing jurors in, which pretty much everybody in the county knows that we do because we send you a summons, and not very many of you are happy about that. Hate that. Okay, so we support the courts. We maintain over 200,000 active case files. We collect about $20 million a year in fees and fines and disperse that money mostly to the state, but to many different agencies.
Why does the money that comes in from the county system, why does it get dispersed to the state? What's the reasoning behind that? Is that state law or something?
It is. And as a matter of fact, everything the clerk's office does is by statute, rule, or regulation.
Okay.
Everything. We don't make decisions about what we charge, what the fees are, anything like that.
Okay.
So even what we pay jurors can't help you out, actually.
Dang.
You have to talk to your legislators when you get them on the show, give them a hard time about that.
Would that be state legislators that determine the fees that the jurors get paid?
Right. It's
okay.
State.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get some of the state guys on instead of the federal guys.
You guys work on that. Just remember, it comes out of your tax dollars.
Dang it! Screwed again.
Dun, 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 dun.
Here, I thought that was free Obama stimulus money that just comes from nowhere. The money fairy.
In 2004, actually the statute, actually it's the Constitution, Article 5 of
Sure.
Of the Constitution changed so that the clerk's office used to keep our money locally that we collected from our citizens from filing fees and fines and that type of thing.
What'd you do with the money when you kept it, though?
We would pay for our operation and we would send our excess to the state. And in Lee County, we sent quite a bit of excess to the state.
You guys could have partied up like GSA employees.
Right. And prior to 2004...
Right here in Fort Myers.
Prior to 2004, the excess stayed in the county.
Okay.
So then it went to excess going to the state. Now we send everything to the state.
And then
they send us back what they think we need to run our operation.
No kidding.
So you actually send
So it's
all
like
the way to Rick
reverse-funded.
Scott, and Rick Scott decides who gets it.
Maybe that's where they found that extra $300 million in the state. They were like, where'd this money come from? Oh, it could have been Lee County Clerk. I don't know.
Oh, Rick. Oh, my bad.
I think it was. And by the way, funded by foreclosures.
No kidding.
Nice.
Wow. That's where the $300 million came from?
Probably.
Wow.
They made a lot of money.
Did they ever decide what they're going to do with that money? Have you heard?
Well, you know what happened, right? They charged the banks like $1,000 filing fee.
No kidding.
That money goes to the state, and then they turned around and bailed out the banks with it.
That is
nice.
I say
it's like a circle, man. The circle of life.
Like I said last week, let them fail. Let the banks fail. If they make a stupid decision, make them fail. Now, I do remember there was a story that came out a few months ago. Maybe it was even longer than that. Probably was. My memory's bad. Where Charlie Green, or maybe even with your help, had kind of broke that story about the land purchases that the county had made, where the land was surveyed and appraised. Let's say it appraised at $10 million, but our intelligent county guys, the county commissioners, they decided, hey, let's just pay $25 million for it, even though it's only worth 10. We're going to pay 25. Well, the clerk's office found that out. Do you remember this issue?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it was like a big thing, man. But then it kind of trickled off, and I didn't hear much about it. Anything come out of that?
Well, that was a result of an audit that we did on the land, the Department of Lands, for the county, and the result of the audit was that we felt the county paid too much money.
Absolutely.
We felt that the appraisals were not what they should have been.
Okay.
That they could have been. They should have been reviewed, and some of them should have been done differently, more representative of the property that the county was buying. And so our recommendations were that the county make some improvements in the way they buy property. Bring in some expertise, bring in some real estate folks, some appraisal expertise.
Well, it almost sounds to me like
a little bit more oversight.
It almost sounds to me like there might have been some real estate folks already in the pocket somewhere.
Well, I mean, there's always a real estate person in a real estate deal, but
yeah,
you ain't lying.
But perhaps a little more objectivity.
But is that up to them to oversee?
Up to the county to make those changes. The clerk's office can only audit, make recommendations.
That's it.
That's it.
Man, so I guess it falls on us as the citizens that if we don't appreciate the way they've wasted our money, vote them out of office.
Right. And go to board meetings and talk to them. Let them know how you feel about it.
You think that really works? Do you think it helps?
Will they tase me if I?
I'll tase you.
You will tase me.
You might have to worry about JD doing that.
You ain't lying.
You probably like it.
He's got scissors and knives over there. He likes to stab me.
What else? Are there any particular platforms that you're running on that you think makes you a better candidate over your opponent?
Well, I have 3 priorities.
Okay.
And thanks for asking. Number 1 is to keep. We provide a very smooth operation. The clerk's office is the hub of local government. We work with all of the agencies. We work with state agencies. I could go on for 10 minutes listing all the agencies that we work with, coordinate our duties with. So my number one priority is not to make this a political office, but to continue the smooth the operation and the coordination of all of our functions and duties, over 2,000 different functions that we perform with all these state agencies and all these local agencies, so that we can continue to provide good service at a low cost, keep that information and those dollars, award-winning financial reports, processing of 140,000 new court cases a year, keep those processes moving in the right direction with continued improvements.
And do you think that if we brought in somebody new, that could just upset the apple cart and it might reverse course?
Absolutely. I mean, without the knowledge of the things that are already going forward, the knowledge of the clerk's office and the 200 different functions, all of the 2,000 statutes that we follow, it's difficult to get that information and get caught up and keep things moving in the right direction. And you could bring someone in with a different philosophy that would just, like you said, upset the
sure. And I don't know your opponent's background. I mean, I know that he was a county commissioner, and before that, I think he worked for the city or something like that as a city employee. But I don't know if he's got the same background that you do.
Credentials.
And the credentials to jump into that role and know it from day one. You make a smooth transition and not, because, I mean, if you were just somebody, and not that he's off the street or anything, I mean, he's been with the counties, he worked for the city, right. But to go into the clerk of court, it's to be like walking in blind. You don't know what you're up against.
Like a third-string quarterback. All of a sudden, you're off the bench with your helmet on.
You've been back there looking at the Playboy instead of the playbook, right. And now you're in there. You got to run the whole show.
Next thing you're in, Joe.
Yeah, I mean that. Right. So
absolutely, and working well with others is such a key component of what the clerk's office does.
And I know your opponent does not work well with others. That's what I've heard. I know that he's been kind of rowdy on the county commission, and I'm sure that may be a good spot for him to be rowdy. You know, if he's a big naysayer and likes to say no to a lot of spending and things at the county level, keep him there. I mean, that's what we need. We need folks that aren't going to jump on the bandwagon and buy all this land at ridiculous prices and do stupid things like that. Not everybody's made for every position, in the political realm.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like you've got your ducks in a row. I mean, it sounds like you've got the background for it. You've got the education for it. And I mean, you're even though you've been there a long time, you're fresh blood to run that whole department, and it's a large department.
It's a big responsibility, and it's important to think like you're running a business.
Sure.
Run it like you're running a business. You have to spend money to save money. But, make sure you have a return on your investment. Look at what you're spending. Don't just spend money just to spend it.
Sure.
Spend it because it brings you advantages. It saves you money in the short, in a year and a half. You get your return on your investment, and you're gonna improve your service and reduce your costs.
Well, that's what we want. I mean, is there a website that folks can go to help your campaign?
Absolutely. Linda Doggett for LeeClerk.com.
So when they go into the booth, just remember Linda Doggett, Linda Doggett, Linda Doggett.
You could be our campaign manager.
Shishumba, Linda Doggett. She's our girl.
Now, for a position like yours that you're running for, do you have to have like a campaign manager, or is it something you handle on your own?
I have a bunch of volunteers working with me, and we are running this campaign. I have somebody advising me. It's because I'm new in this.
Sure, you've never had to run for office.
I've never run for anything. This is my first run, and
I'd only run if somebody was chasing me.
And
not very far.
Yeah, not very far.
But it's been a lot of fun, and it's been very enlightening, and you meet a lot of great people.
When's the election? When's your election?
August 14th.
And that's it. You don't have to run again. You don't have to do a final in November?
Well, so far that's the date. There's obviously till June 8th is the end of qualifying.
Okay.
So somebody could throw their hat in between now and June 8th and throw that election into the November cycle.
Oh, okay.
At this point, it's August 14th, the primary.
And if you win there, you're in.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, if you support Linda, go to Linda Doggett for LeeClerk.com.
Let's take a quick call.
Yeah, before we go, let's take a caller and see if they got anything to add. Caller, you're on the Les Radio Show with JD and Smitty.
Go ahead.
Hey, turn your radio down a little bit.
Turn your radio down, Bo.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
I used to record my documents in the Cape Coral branch, and now I have to go to Fort Myers. I was wondering if that's going to change and if we'll be able to record documents in the Cape again.
Good question. Thanks, caller. We'll address that. Linda?
Okay, well, thanks for that question. So we did remove some of our services from the Cape Coral office to reduce costs, but we have been implementing e-recording.
So they could do it online, you're saying?
Folks could go online now and e-record their documents without having to come to Fort Myers. If there's any issues with that, please call our office, but that should be working out for you. We have e-filing. Attorneys that used to come into our office in Cape Coral can now e-file.
Give her the office number in case she wants to call. Do you know it offhand?
533, I think it's 2100.
There you go, 53321. But, you know, and I think e-filing works for a lot of folks, but a lot of the older community, like last night, I was on the phone with my grandmother in Arkansas trying to tell her how to get to our website so she could watch our show. And as I'm spelling out the name of the show on the website, as I got to .com, she's like, .dot. I'm like, no, Grandma. You got to put in a period, then you got to go .com and it's .com. So a lot of the older folks, they're not as
up to speed,
computer friendly as some of us may have been, because this is kind of the new generation.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it's going to be a little simple. I'd like to see it simpler for them, but I know we do have to reduce costs. And I would say in something like this, would they scan it in and then email it over? Is that how they get a document to you?
Yeah, basically they'll go to our website and they'll have a service there that explains how to do that process. We do still have a presence in Cape Coral. We just don't have all the services there. They can still walk into our Cape Coral office and ask for help.
I'd like to look at your website. Maybe this week I'll take a look at it, because I've got to tell you, most government websites that have you file things or pick up files, they're so difficult to maneuver, to navigate.
Certainly not user friendly.
Yeah, if that's one thing you can look at as your previous
Absolutely.
IT, take a look at it. Make sure it's user friendly for the folks, because that's what's hard.
Right.
You know what? People don't want you to leave. We got another caller.
One more call before we
Caller, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. What do you have for us?
Hello?
Yes,
go ahead, bud.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I'd like to ask a couple questions.
Absolutely.
Linda, how long have you worked for the clerk?
I've been with the clerk's office for 28 years.
28 years. And I understand that the current administration has been there for quite a few years as well?
That's correct. Charlie Green has also been there for 28 years.
Okay. And I'm sure he's done a real good job. And how would you improve on what you're coming into?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you. Actually,
thanks, caller.
I have my three priorities, and the first one being let's not make this a political office. And I think right now there's some work to be done there. Our audits, my other priority is our audits, enhancing our audit program. We actually do great audits. They're not always well received.
Mine was terrible. Oh my God.
I'm going through an audit right now, but it's not from you guys.
So, just improving the communication, because the purpose of the audit is to save us money. Improve that department, what they're doing, and save the taxpayers
I can help
money.
you save a lot of money. Just don't audit me at all.
That won't save them money. It saves you money.
Well, I thought you was talking about me.
Oh, okay. What's your third item?
So my third priority is, and this is a culture that Charlie Green has established, to improve the communication, the transparency of the financial status of the county. One of the things the clerk is responsible for is the chief financial officer for the county. We pay all the bills, we invest all the money, $1.7 billion run through our office every year. So we do the financial reports. We need to improve our communication and transparency of where the county stands financially and the impact of any decisions the board might make on that budget and on that financial status of the county.
One more call on the line here. Let's give him a call.
All right, Linda, this is your last call we're going to take for you before we kick you out of here.
Yeah,
all right,
Linda.
thank you.
Caller, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. What do you have for us?
Okay, yeah. I had the other question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I had another one. So this one is,
this was going to cost you.
Every government department wastes taxpayers' money in some way or another. If you are elected as clerk of courts, how will you help reduce that waste of our taxpayer money?
Okay, well, that's a great question again. And as the clerk's office, we run our own operation. So operationally, we save money by automation, by providing a good service at a less cost. Through all of the programs that we have today, we have everything is electronic. We have people working from home. All sorts of things we do within our own operation to save money. But the more efficient that we are, the quicker and the more accurately we process information, that makes the other agencies around us
efficient. It's efficient,
more
effective.
efficient.
Absolutely.
For example, the jail. The better we process, the quicker we process cases, and we've done some great things that have really reduced jail average length of time stay in the jail, which reduces costs to the taxpayer, because the longer people sit there and wait for a court date or wait for first appearance or wait for something to happen on their case file, the more that costs us as taxpayers.
Sure.
Same thing with the attorneys. Every time something goes to court because the case isn't ready, costs the taxpayers money. So as a part of the court system, as the core of the court system, we really are saving quite a bit of money just by our efficiencies for the system overall. And the same thing with our public records. The quicker we hand that document back to a business so that business can get back to what they do and making money, the better, the better service that we provide.
Well, that sounds great. And I know we've got some callers lined up. We'll take those calls after the break. Okay. Linda, we appreciate your time this morning. And for those of you listening, you can go to Linda Doggett for LeeClerk.com to support her campaign. She is running for the Lee County Clerk of Courts. Charlie Green is retiring.
He is.
So support Linda. And if you got any questions for her, I'm sure you can find her email address on her website. Linda, thanks for coming in, and we'll be right back, everybody.
Thank you.
If you're a boat enthusiast, then you know just how much fun boating can be. Whether you're fishing in the Gulf or just taking in the beautiful sights that can only be seen from a boat, there's nothing quite like it. Boat owners also know that it takes time to maintain that boat. So when it comes to cleaning, detailing, and restoration, Summer Jade is on board for you. Summer Jade specializes in full-service detailing. They also offer teak restoration, underwater hull cleaning, and hull painting. It doesn't matter if you have a small boat or a large yacht. They do the job with quality results. Summer Jade is family-owned and operated, serving Lee County and the surrounding areas. And best of all, their rates can't be beat. Call today and ask for Eric. He has some great promotional rates, some as low as $11 per foot.
I'm Eric Naylor, the owner of Summer Jade. Our rates are unbeatable. Call me at 239-878-6947. That's 878-6947. In Florida, it's summer every day.
Summertime. And the boating is easy.
When it comes to finding a reliable general contractor, you need to pick someone with a solid background and a good reputation. D-Squared Construction gives you all that and more. They are family-owned and operated and stand behind every project. Quality workmanship and satisfaction to the customer has made them one of the premier contractors in Southwest Florida since 2004. Small residential renovations to large commercial projects, they do it all, and they do it all well. Your projects are much too important to trust just anyone. D-Squared Construction will come to your house or commercial project and give you a free on-site estimate. Call Cavan Dwyer at 239-561-4108. That's 239-561-4108 for a free consultation and some good sound advice. They won't waste your time or your money. D-Squared Construction, when it needs to get done right.
Hey there, Sarah. You better wipe that smile off your face. People will wonder what you've been doing.
If they only knew my secret.
Well, tell me what your secret is. I love a good secret.
Well, my husband surprised me yesterday by taking me to the Health and Harmony Center. I got a full-body Swedish massage and picked up a few other items just for me.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
It was better than awesome. It was the most relaxing 1 hour that I've experienced in a long, long time and well overdue. At the Health and Harmony Center, they offer massage, yoga, acupuncture, natural medicines, fitness classes, workshops, and more. I can't wait to go back. It was certainly better than a card and flowers.
Call the Health and Harmony Center now for more details and ask about their 1 hour Swedish massage special for only $65 now through April the 14th. Put a smile on someone's face. Call 239-433-5995. That's 239-433-5995. Or stop by at 15951 McGregor Avenue.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Why should you want to know? Don't you mind about the future?
And you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. Call now at 277 or 775-9600. You can check out our live stream at theledgeradioshow.com and visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. Smitty, if you got something really pressing, you go ahead and give it to me. Otherwise, I got some stuff that, I'm gonna ramble on about Obama for a few minutes. So if you got something you want to get out of the way first, be my guest. Otherwise, I got you covered.
Well, you do that every week, so it's no surprise when all you do is bash on the president. Like I said, he could come out with a cure for cancer, and you still have something bad to say about him.
Probably.
But, he was asked about Governor Romney. He said the main goal of the financial firms like Romney's is not to create jobs, Their main goal is to create wealth for themselves and their investors. And I think that's a lot of what people feel. You know, it's not just me. It's a lot of people feel the same way. These guys that are at the top, they are not concerned with the job creations. They want to liquidate, get rid of companies, mainstream, and move things off center. And like investors, they're worried about just making money for themselves, not the whole as people.
Well, here's the way I feel about that. As a business owner myself, it is not my primary goal to create a bunch of jobs. It's my goal to make money for myself. If in doing so I'm able to employ people and which pays their bills for their family, then that's an added bonus.
Well, he also said, let me just read, he says, now, he says, that may be the job of someone who's engaged in corporate buyouts. And the president said, that's fine, but that's not the job of the president. That's a good point. The president's job is to create jobs, you know.
Well, President Obama has never created a single job because he's never had a job.
Well,
he's always been a community organizer. That's what he's done. He's never
he's not
created
talking
a job.
about community organizing. He's talking about when you're the president. That's a different obligation.
Sure, and I'd rather have a president that knew how to run a business than a guy that's never run anything.
So Bain Capital is a business that was really good. You talk about all the people who lost their jobs.
You know, Bain had like 3 or 4 companies that had to be shut down. They had 70 plus that benefited from their cash flow that help those companies.
So you say? I mean,
it's truth. It's fact. Look it up on your Wikipedia page. Okay,
look it up on your right wing Rush Limbaugh
Let's take
Nazi
a caller
page.
before I knock you out. Come on, caller. You're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. What you got?
Yeah, listen. I'm concerned that no one talks more about the corruption that's going on in these counties.
Amen.
Hey, why? Guys, look. We're taking so much for granted. When they go out and spend $25 million on a piece of property that was advertised at $10 million, don't you know that somebody's getting some money under the table?
Oh, absolutely.
How do these guys last in these jobs all these years? Why don't we do net worth audits on these guys? Why they run around here wearing $20,000-$30,000 worth of gold and diamonds and
Gumby gold,
drive exotic cars and pay cash when they go to the restaurants? They're paying nothing. Why don't you address those issues?
Well, I agree. Thanks, caller. And actually, we asked. I brought that up with Linda earlier, and because it was the Clerk of Court's office that actually found that story, that broke the story through their audit system. When the county bought that land, and I know there had to be some real estate investors involved because the county, they know the real estate folks. They got a brother-in-law that works there that owns a company that owned the land or something. So there's always someone getting their palm greased. So I guarantee there was some shady deal going on. Why else would the county, after getting more than one appraisal on a piece of property, saying that it's worth $7 million? Now this one says it's worth $10 million, but then they go and they buy it for $15 or $20 million. That's the stupidest thing you could ever do to invest money. Why would they ever do that unless they were paying somebody off? What do you think, Smitty?
Absolutely, that is
corruption at the local level.
That's been going on for ages.
That doesn't mean it's right, though.
No, it doesn't mean it's right. But I think with the new age, with all the information age,
it was kind of like when Sonny Haas was on, and he was talking about one of the commissioners. Was buddy with somebody that owned the land that the Red Sox stadium was on,
right?
And
wasn't that the Cabrera thing that was going on?
I don't remember the name of it.
The
I
young
don't know
guy
who it was.
I forget the story. I wish I'd have had it, but I don't.
I'll re-listen to our episode that week to find out what it was. But he named it specifically and said that there was a group involved that owned that land. And then there was the land. Everything was bought with Obama money, and it was like a big scam going on.
Let's take a caller.
Caller, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty.
You're on the Ledge, baby. Go ahead.
Caller, are you there?
Happy birthday, Dad!
Oh, thanks, guys.
Nice.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Sweet.
I'm taking you to the movies today, so I'll take you to the movies for my birthday. How about that?
Yay!
All right.
Is that from your real family or the other one?
No, that's my kids calling in. Today is my birthday. I'm 36.
But
I'm heading downhill, man.
You're talking about it's only downhill from here. So go ahead and if you guys want to call us, it's 277-9600 or 775-9600. The gentleman just called in, and he had a good point about the corruption that goes on.
Well, speaking of corruption, as we remember, okay, back in 2007, when then the Senator Barack Obama vowed to crack down on lobbyist influence in Washington, D.C., you remember that? He kind of ran on that platform. I'm not going to have any lobbyists anymore. We're going to get rid of them all because they're just corrupting the government.
Well, he said he didn't like it. He would like to eliminate it. You're right.
Well, this is what he said. I have done more to take on lobbyists than any other candidate in this race. This is from Obama. I don't take a dime of their money, and when I'm president, they won't find a job in my White House. As reported by some other media outlets and already noted by the left-leaning PolitiFact, the president broke his lobbyist rule a long time ago. However, thanks to a recent report from the Washington Post, we now have a better understanding of just how much the president has failed to curb lobbyist influences in the nation's capital. The Post matched visits with lobbying registrations and connected records in the visitor database to show who participated in the meetings. Information now available in a search engine on the Washington Post website. It's right there in black and white.
Well, in defense of that lobbyist thing, he's absolutely correct when he said he doesn't like it and he would like to get rid of it.
He doesn't like it, but he's going to take their money.
But you know what? When you got a forest fire, you got to put it out with water, and he obviously caved. He caved.
Here we go.
And he had to. The system is full of lobbyists. You're not going to get rid of lobbyists, and you're not going to redo the tax bracket. I mean, that's just the way it is.
The White House visitor records make it clear that Obama's senior officials are granting access to some of K Street's most influential representatives. These are the same folks. Wall Street, this is the OWS crowd that they hate Wall Street.
Put it on a ballot and everybody vote no more lobbyists. That's the only thing. That's the only way you're going to get rid of it.
Well, they're not going to know it's a problem unless it's brought out, And in many cases, the same lobbyists have long-standing connections with this president and his aides.
That's right.
You got guys like Marshall Mess, a lobbyist whose clients include the General Counsel for Biotechnology Industry, Chief Executive of General Mills.
They all become lobbyists once they leave the White House. That's a common practice.
They visited the White House 2 dozen times in the past 2.5 years.
That's nothing new. I could go back and see the lobbyists.
Bill Samuel, lobbyist for the AFL-CIO. He visited the White House 50 times since the president was inaugurated.
But he's the AFL-CIO. It's different. He's a union member.
Obama owed him money anyway.
No, let's take a quick call.
All right, caller, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty.
Yes, good morning. How you doing today? I'm calling from Cape Coral.
Yes, sir. Another Cape resident. What you got for us, buddy?
Do you ever think that the normal taxpayer that we're paying all these taxes out, we're doing this, we're doing that. We're just so frustrated because we see the corruption that's going on, and the American people have come so complacent with our government that we don't know how to change it now that it's gotten so far out of control.
I agree.
You go, you vote, they make promises, they don't keep the promises. What do you ever do to start changing all this stuff that's going on in the world?
That's a good point, caller, and I'll try to address that. I appreciate the call, my friend. What the caller says is true. I mean, but the thing is, it's not that that's new. Corruption in government's been around since government
forever.
Well, since government was government,
yeah, forever.
And I think right now, I can't even tell you with a straight face that just because we've got a kind of a new revolution in the government when it comes to folks like the Tea Party, because they're going to back a candidate that's going to turn out to be a snake like the rest of them are. But all you can do is just do your best to do your own research.
One that's the least of the evils.
Maybe. Well, though, that's the way we all. When my dad used to vote, he'd say, "I'm just picking the best of the two evils."
That's right, and that's what we're doing now, because I like that guy that was here talking about Ron Paul.
Yeah, right.
They called on. I think I might even vote for Ron Paul, and I told you I didn't agree with his foreign policies. But I actually think that his domestic policies are fantastic.
Well, let me tell you a little secret about Ron Paul, okay? And I again, like I said, I like Ron Paul in general. I think a vote for Ron Paul at this point in the election is a vote for Obama.
Really?
You either vote for Obama or Romney. If you vote for Ron Paul, you're taking a vote out of Romney's pocket.
When you think about Romney, and I was looking at some of the stuff that he used to agree with, but now he's flip-flopped
I know, he was a Democrat.
And there's not a whole lot of distance between the two.
I agree.
I mean, there's because so even
I know the Black Panthers aren't supporting Romney.
Right.
They're supporting Obama.
And if you ever look up the Mormon religion, which is another whole thing, they have some very strange things that people don't want to. They call it a cult. Some people call it a cult.
Sure.
And they talk about
so is Black liberation theology. So you're right. I guess there's not that much distance between the two.
There's not.
But socialism versus freedom is a big divide. That's a big difference. Okay, and I know you don't like the term socialism or socialist.
Because you try to tie it to communism as if it's something nasty to have people that have a moral conscience and a moral, gauge of where they can help people in social issues. And your idea is that's it. We're not helping anybody.
Hey, while I'm thinking, let me get back to Ron Paul real quick. I had that one idea. Yeah. Okay, so I saw a report about Ron Paul, and it really upset me because I thought Ron Paul was one of these straight shooters. He just tells it like it is.
Yeah.
He votes no on most bills because he doesn't believe that the federal government should
get involved
in most of the states' rights issues or local issues or marriage or any of that stuff. So he votes no on a lot of things, which I thought was excellent. But then to come to find out, You know how that whole system works for him?
Tell
he
us.
actually he'll put pork in a bill, okay? He'll put his little get his little nest egg in there to bring money back for his state, knowing that the bill will have enough support to pass. Okay, even though he's going to vote no, that way it looks like he voted no, so he can show his supporters, well, I voted no for that bill.
Yeah,
he goes, but here's the money we got from it because I knew it was going to pass anyway.
Win-win.
That's a total hypocrite, man. I mean, I was all for the guy.
That's
a
political maneuver, they call that.
That is a maneuver.
That's a political maneuver.
That was
strategic.
That just shot a hole. It shot a hole in my theory for him.
That sounds like something Romney would do.
Well, I don't know. The bottom line is about Romney when it comes down to it. Sure, he was the head of this company. There was like a venture capitalist or vulture capitalist, whatever you want to call it. They saved 70+ companies.
What's his last name? Greco?
Yeah. What was the first name of that guy? William? No.
From Wall Street. What's the guy's name?
Michael Douglas, right?
Yeah, he played Greco on Wall Street. That's what reminds me of.
Gecko.
Gecko?
Yeah, Greco's the Roman wrestling.
And the Gecko's the little guy that runs around with Geico, isn't it?
Gecko,
whatever
Greco.
it is. Yeah.
That was a good movie, though.
It was.
But and I think that's the light they want to shine Romney, and they want to have him and Michael Douglas like on the same set, like it's the same guy.
Yeah.
But when you look at the overall picture of what their company accomplished, they saved like 70 companies that were heading towards bankruptcy.
Well,
you're going to have a few that die. Almost everything Obama's invested in has failed. Look at Solyndra. That one worked out great.
Same thing with Bush. Look at him.
What about him?
Okay,
here we go. You can say a name. What about him?
Okay,
they've
all had failures and successes, but I can tell you one thing: the problem that we have in 2007, 2008, 2009, when the economy was nosediving, crashing. The blue-collar guy working in the field, the truck driver, the electrician, the guy at the bakery. And I say blue-collar, I don't necessarily mean a guy with a hammer and a nail.
Okay.
I mean the guys that's working in the trenches, middle.
Basically working for somebody else.
Yeah, and working for a living, making a middle wage.
Would you consider me blue-collar
even
as an
absolutely.
owner of a small
business?
business?
Because I know you live within your means, and I know you struggle. And I've said to you privately that I'm very proud of you, even though we argue.
I appreciate that.
I've said that, and you know that.
If I wasn't so shallow, I'd have a tear in my eye.
No, don't do that. So okay, Boehner. So, but truthfully, all this stuff the turmoil that we're in wasn't caused by the average blue collar guy.
I agree.
We didn't do it. I didn't do it. You didn't do it.
And we don't want to blame the blue collar guy.
No, they didn't do it. All they got is raked up their butts, and now they're asking the blue collar guy to pay for everything.
They always do.
And it's wrong.
They always do.
And I'm sick and tired of getting the blue collar guy.
But we can't always say that it was just Bush's fault. That was popular. The media polarized it. It wasn't just his fault.
It was Cheney's then.
Exactly. If it wasn't Bush's fault, it was Cheney's fault.
Well, didn't he run the country? Wasn't it Cheney? He was a president, wasn't
he? People think that. They think he was the
well, Bush could have been. Come on, man.
Hey,
come on.
Don't even get me started. When we come back, let's talk about unions. I got something for you.
277-9600 or 775-9600. Get your phones up and ready, and let's go at it after this commercial.
96 K-Rock goes live. 4 stages and 4 bands equals 2 hours of kick-ass rock and roll. Saturday night at 10. K-Rock Live on 96 K-Rock and 96krock.com.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small. Secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm security and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2 000046.
When it comes to finding a reliable general contractor, you need to pick someone with a solid background and a good reputation. D-Squared Construction gives you all that and more. They are family owned and operated and stand behind every project. Quality workmanship and satisfaction to the customer has made them one of the premier contractors in Southwest Florida since 2004. Small residential renovations to large commercial projects, they do it all. And they do it all well. Your projects are much too important to trust just anyone. D-Squared Construction will come to your house or commercial project and give you a free on-site estimate. Call Cavan Dwyer at 239-561-4108. That's 239-561-4108. 4108 for a free consultation and some good sound advice. They won't waste your time or your money. D Squared Construction, when it needs to get done right.
If you're a boat enthusiast, then you know just how much fun boating can be. Whether you're fishing in the Gulf or just taking in the beautiful sights that can only be seen from a boat, there's nothing quite like it. Boat owners also know that it takes time to maintain that boat. So when it comes to cleaning, detailing, and restoration, Summer Jade is on board for you. Summer Jade specializes in full-service detailing. They also offer teak restoration, underwater hull cleaning, and hull painting. It doesn't matter if you have a small boat or a large yacht. They do the job with quality results. Summer Jade is family-owned and operated, serving Lee County and the surrounding areas. And best of all, their rates can't be beat. Call today and ask for Eric. He has some great promotional rates, some as low as $11 per foot.
I'm Eric Naylor, the owner of Summer Jade. Our rates are unbeatable. Call me at 239-878-6947. That's 878-6947. In Florida, it's summer every day.
Summertime. And the boating is easy.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Why should you want to know? Don't you mind about the future?
You're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. Call now, 277 or 775-9600. Check out our live stream at theledgeradioshow.com and visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. Go, Smitty. I know you got one.
Well, I got some good news, actually.
Did I win the lottery?
No.
Not good news for me?
No, you get a lot on your insurance.
Okay, great.
A 3-month review by New Jersey's Attorney General has concluded that the New York Police Department did not violate state laws when they conducted extensive surveillance of the Muslim communities with help from the CIA.
Wow.
The review's findings means the Muslims have no recourse to state law to prevent the New York Police Department from monitoring and cataloging their daily life.
Is it just a general population, the Muslim community, or was it like specific targeted Islamic terror cells, or does it not go into that kind of detail?
It doesn't go into detail, but obviously they probably targeted everybody that was Muslim or had a
you got on me last week about profiling. I mean, isn't that profiling? Not that I'm against it. I think it's great. I think if you profile the group that's going to blow you up.
I'm for profiling. I'm not against profiling.
Styling and profiling.
You know,
I hear you.
I'm all for that. But that was a good thing to finally somebody. I don't know who he is.
You wait till they bring
judge.
it. They'll bring it to the Supreme Court in the Ninth Circuit. The liberal Ninth Circuit. They'll overturn it. They'll sue the New York Police Department.
This is just common sense here. That if this guy did a good thing. I don't know who the judge is or what he is.
That's some good cop news. I got some dumb cop news.
Give me some good cop news.
All right, this is dumb cop news. You hear about the dad that was slapped with 2 traffic tickets after saving his son from jumping 35 feet into a river?
I'd heard something about that.
Well, they're riding in a little Jeep or something, and they get close to this ravine. He didn't quite put the vehicle in park yet, and the son opens the door and jumps out or whatever, like they're going to go fishing or feed the fish or whatever. Well, the son falls down the ravine. So the dad still doesn't put the vehicle in park because he wants to jump out quick to get his son. Saved his kid. A hero in the community. The cops give him tickets for not controlling his vehicle because it went down into the ravine.
It doesn't surprise me, unfortunately.
I mean, come on, man.
Policeman, they're tough, boy. Well, we've had Mike Scott on here.
Yeah, and, I don't think his guys would do that, but
he's actually on the news as well because the unions that he belongs to, the Fraternal Order of Police, they're actually backing his opponent. For some reason. Now,
see, you weren't going to get me on unions, but
we'll talk about unions next week because we only have 10 minutes.
Well, I got to say, that
was odd. That was very odd.
It's not odd. I'll tell you why. And I don't know all the inner workings of the sheriff's department. Maybe we got to get either Mike Scott or maybe his opponent on in some of the coming weeks to figure all that stuff out as to why. But the unions are going to pick their guy. They're going to pick who's going to bring them the most money and get their the blue collar worker to get them more money or more benefits. It supports the union. Mike Scott, Mike Scott's had to make some tough cuts, and the union's not going to appreciate that.
Well,
but if you got to run your department efficiently, you got to make those cuts, and usually that's the issue with unions. I don't know if that's the situation on this one. I'd really like to talk to them more in depth to find out.
Sure, because
maybe I'll shoot them an email or something.
Sure, that may not be the whole vision of the rank and file, they may feel totally different. But
you think the rank and file would feel different than the union?
Absolutely, because I've been in unions, and I know that when you have the board members all up there with the unions, they make their suggestion and they give a yay or nay, and then they drop the mallet, and it's just pretty much how they vote.
Well, they say that does the union say hey, we feel this way, we feel that we should support this candidate?
Yeah, they'll speak on it, and they'll say, hey, we're here the two sides, and they'll give their arguments, not arguments, but their point of view, and they'll say, we want to make sure we back our constituents here, blah, 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 and then that's how it goes. But when you're running for office, it's politics and it's money, and, like I said, I don't know.
We'll find out some more from Mike Scott and maybe from his opponent or even the union. Maybe we can talk to the guys of the union.
And bring them both in here.
I got a couple of buddies who work over there.
Bring them both in here, let them go at it.
Well, that's a good idea. They have to give us bulletproof vests first in case they break out the guns.
I forget my Karate Kid thing going.
It's the crane. That was the crane move. Do it again. Do it again for the camera. Oh, that's nice. Don't fall over. All right, I got some more dumb cop news. And usually, we don't rag on the cops since we like the cops.
No.
We like the cops not to give us tickets. That's what we like about them.
Let me break.
Anyway, so we got a man ticketed for littering. Well, okay, great. After giving a homeless man money and dropping one of the bills.
Nice.
He's giving a homeless guy money. A bill falls out, and the cop gives him a ticket for littering.
Where was this at? New York City?
No, let me see. I don't even. Cleveland, Ohio. That's a good place to be from.
Cleveland, they would know. They would know any more dirt on the ground over in Cleveland. Give me a break.
Well, I got one more. This isn't about cops. You don't have something about cops here.
Depressing stories.
No. This one is kind of depressing.
Oh no.
I labeled this one kind of weird news. An employee of a Safeway, it's like a big supermarket chain in other markets, was suspended for defending a pregnant woman in the store. Sees a pregnant woman getting beat by her husband or boyfriend. This guy, he was like the butcher, jumps the counter, goes around the counter, and defends the woman. He's a local hero, like the guy saving his son, and the supermarket chain. They suspend him. They actually end up being fired.
What's the chain of?
It's called Safeway.
Safeway.
Yeah, okay. It's out west or something.
And where was this at when this took place? California.
Well, let me see here. Delray Oaks. I don't know what state that is. It's Monterey, California.
How did I know?
You did. You picked it.
I'm like Kreskin.
So now I guess their policy says that employees can't intervene. They have to call security. Well, if he would have waited to call security, and it might take 3 or 4 minutes, the woman could have been killed. So he jumps in, saves the woman, and gets suspended.
Again, common sense is not so common.
That is true.
And people have a weird way of reasoning things out. And what are you going to do, man?
I'm guessing that they were. I'm sure they were worried about a lawsuit from the guy that he. I don't know if he had to punch the guy, take the guy down, but. I don't know, man. I wouldn't shop there just for that. I would picket them just for that.
I'm sure you can go on YouTube and see it. I mean, they don't have cameras in the stores.
Yeah, but the store isn't required to release their private, their private photos.
Okay.
And now, if it goes to court now, then it becomes public record. Then you could view it.
Well, have you seen the video of the boy getting put in a dryer at the washing machine place?
Well, you had one about a kid in a dryer.
Yeah,
that got injured. And then I actually saw a video the other day of a couple putting they were babysitting a little toddler. They put him in a washing machine. It was like a big front load washer.
He was 2 years old, wasn't he? 2 years old?
Yeah, he was a small toddler. I don't know. He could have been 2, 3, I'm not sure. Small kid. I don't even know if it was a boy, but it was a little kid. And they put him in the washing machine, and at the laundromat, this washing machine automatically locks and turns on. So it starts washing the kid. He's spinning around in there, and the people that are watching him, boy, they freak out because they didn't expect it to lock. They thought they were playing some game of peekaboo or something. They're trying to pry the door open, and then they go get help, and the kid's in there like 2-3 minutes.
Is that how you play peekaboo in washing machine?
No,
that's a strange way to play peekaboo.
No. Now I do leave the washing machine
open
at home.
I play peekaboo, but that's another story we can't bring on the air.
I try to see if my cat will go in the washing machine. I leave the door open, hoping it will, and it won't. Speaking of cats,
I like cats.
I had my wife, bless her heart, she ironed my shirt last night, and I think she ironed it with the cat.
Nice.
I had to use like three of those sticky things from the lint roller to get all the cat off of it.
That is a fine shirt, I just want to tell you.
I appreciate you buying that for me too, buddy. But this black shirt, man, it had cat hair all over it. I'm just picturing like...
Are you a cat or a dog guy?
Oh, I have cats. I love dogs. I like dogs more than cats.
Right.
But I don't have a place for a dog.
I had dogs my whole life, but now I have a cat, and I think I go with the cat. It's less maintenance,
man.
You
don't have to take the cat out, but you still got the litter box. I hate the litter box.
When it's flooding and all that, the cat just takes care of it. It's all good.
It's true.
Yeah, and they don't bark and make a bunch of noise.
Well, now my kids are big enough where they actually rotate. They'll do 1 week, one kid does the litter box, next week the other one does it. It's every day. They got to do the litter box so it stays clean.
Yeah.
But I hate the litter box. I don't care how clean it is.
That's why you have kids to do it, like mowing the
I
grass.
know,
Get them to mow the grass.
You go in the laundry room. I put a little pet door in the laundry room door, and you can still smell it.
You just got to get good.
We got the best litter. We got the Arm & Hammer. We got the best litter.
Arm & Hammer's not any good.
No, you put the baking powder in there.
Fresh Start, man.
Well, maybe we'll check out. Ours is pretty good, but it's not the. I don't know.
What do you want the cat to go up on the toilet and flush the toilet? What do you want from the cat?
Like the movie.
Yeah, like the movie.
Fockers. That was pretty good. If my cat would. No, you know what? We left the lid open one time in the toilet. Our cat drank out of the toilet. Now I've seen dogs do it. Yeah. We had a stray cat. He drinks out of the toilet.
You know why he drank out of the toilet? He was thirsty.
Well, you know what he does now? We have to turn the faucet on. He drinks out of the faucet. He won't even drink out of his bowl.
Well, before we go, we only have about a minute or so. I just want to bring us some other good news. There was a.
How many minutes we got, Sick Rick?
You guys about 2 minutes. Really quick. This is such a good story. There was a 15-year-old boy.
I thought he was 16.
No, he was 15-year-old teenager named Jack. I'm going to pronounce his last name here.
I know.
Andraka.
I'm sure that's wrong.
And it looks pretty right. And he's actually from Maryland, and he invented a simple way and a cheap way for testing pancreatic cancers. And this kid's 15 years old.
How did he do it at 15?
I don't know, but Johns Hopkins is working with him to tighten up his patent so nobody can really, I guess, get his ideas. But the kid won. It's on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, it's hilarious. Here's this kid, 15 years old, in a big crowd of people.
What did he win, like the Science Fair project?
Yeah, he won like it's a very prestigious science convention for kids or whatever for inventions. And he won $75,000. And if you go to YouTube and type it up, it is hilarious. The kid jumps up like he won the lottery, and
he's going to be set.
And he starts crying, and he gets down, he bows to the woman.
I wonder how he does in school overall. I wonder if he's just like a genius, or he just happened to stumble upon this.
It wasn't you or me, you know what I mean?
Well, I wonder though. I mean, how did he get access to the equipment to come up with this kind of?
I don't know.
Device.
I don't know, but he was motivated
because like
his uncle died of pancreatic cancer,
really?
So that's what motivated him.
Wow!
And what a great story.
I mean. I can't imagine somebody even my age developing that
without
the technology,
the kids
without having
now,
the right parts.
The kids now are smarter than we ever would be, and they're the future. So hopefully they'll be able to find a way to get out of this mess that we're in.
Hey, before we go, I know we got probably 45 seconds.
You see plug Imperial Fire Alarm again?
No, not again. You see Ted Kaczynski?
Oh, let's not even get in. He's a genius.
It's
MIT. Hurry up.
He flaunted his 8 life sentences in his Harvard Alumni magazine. It was his 50th anniversary of graduation.
It's crazy.
So he lists in there of his accomplishments, his awards, 8 life sentences. That's
beautiful.
Great, man.
The man is the man. He's smart. He was very intelligent, very smart guy, but
just evil, like Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil.
All right, everybody. It's been a great show. We will see you next week. This is the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. Have a good week.
See ya.